Despite comprising only 4% of the world's population, the United States incarcerates over 25% of the world's prisoners. There are currently 2.3 million people serving time inside American prisons. Every year, American taxpayers spend over $80 billion to house, supervise, and rehabilitate these people.
My name is Lazaro Lugo. I'm a student here at St. Francis College, pursuing my bachelor's degree in sociology, but I also work as a parent coach in the social services field. In 2016, I was released from prison after serving 21 years of incarceration for an altercation that I had with another young man who, as a result of that altercation, lost his life.
I've been in and out of jail all my life. I spent from 15 to 18 in juvie, and I came home. I got locked up again when I was 19. Came home at 21, got locked up again, and I came home after 2 years. So I came home when I was 25. So like a large portion of my life I spent locked up.
In addition to having the largest population of prisoners, the United States also has one of the highest recidivism rates in the world. Of the 2.3 million people currently serving time, 67% will be rearrested within 3 years of their release. After 5 years, 76% will find themselves back in prison.
Our system of mass incarceration is really good at punishment. It's really good at putting people in solitary confinement and depriving people of human rights, but we don't do a very good job at rehabilitating them, which means giving people services, mental health services, social services, services to deal with whatever put them in prison in the first place. Most people wind up in prison because they're not given the economic and educational opportunities that others are given.
18% of American citizens do not have a high school degree. Within the inmate population, however, this number more than doubles. 41% of the present inmate population does not have a high school degree, and only 12% pursue a college degree. In an effort to reduce recidivism rates, prisons offer rehabilitation programs to help prepare inmates to successfully re-enter society.
Anything good that you hear about like prisons or like systems that they have, like any programs, stuff like that, they're literally just there just to say that they have them, just to try, to show that they're like trying the rehabilitation and stuff like that, when in reality they're really not. That's not their mentality. That's not what they're built for. That's not what they're intended for. As much as we say as that we want it to be that, it's not that at all. It's really hard to get into any of the programs that are to help, that they have to help you re-enter society. It's really difficult. And even if you do get into them, they're like half-ass programs. And when you go home, they don't really do anything for you.
We may learn something like TV repair. So here we are in the 21st century learning to repair black and white televisions. What kind of skills that are valuable from repairing 13-inch black and white TVs? When we return to society, that skill set is obsolete. From my personal experience, I don't think rehabilitation is a legitimate or even a foreseeable goal for the way the criminal justice system is now set up, because we come home ill-prepared to deal with society, ill-prepared to become participating citizens in our communities, in the workforce, we're just ill-prepared.
When you come home, there's really not much set up for you. Like, every time I came home, I came home to nothing. I didn't know, I just came home to nothing. This time when I came home to St. Francis, an opportunity. I have a scholarship, I'm in school, and I'm not going back. It's never gonna happen. I'm not going back. Did I think I was gonna go back before? Yeah, until I came here, and now I'm like a totally different person.
we help those men and women who have criminal convictions or criminal justice involvement finish their college degree after they've finished jail or prison. Many of our students are on probation or parole. Some have been off probation and parole for a few years, and they want to move ahead in their careers. And getting a college degree is one of the best ways to have financial and economic success, and also to have a stepping stone professionally. We started because Brooklyn and Queens are kind of an epicenter of people returning from prisons. And so a lot of people go upstate and go to prisons, and they might have the opportunity to earn a GED or a high school degree and take 1 or 2 college classes, but they don't finish. So when they come home, finishing a college degree not only helps them personally and professionally, it also helps them with the reentry process. They meet a network of people who are not necessarily criminal justice involved. They meet teachers, they meet others who can help them with the reentry process.
When I first returned home, I was working as a construction worker, and I was trying to find my way. I did a little bit of chef work in the food industry, but my heart was always in social services. So being able to come back to school opened doors for me to start branching out and start looking for work in that sector. And as a result of just being enrolled, not necessarily having the degree, but working towards it, opened the door for me to gain employment in the social services field.
We had one student who returned to Manhattan after serving almost 20 years upstate. He enrolled at St. Francis about 2 months after coming home. He had a few college credits, and we accepted his credits, we accepted his GED, and he graduated in May 2018. And now he has a full-time job, and he's doing really well. But I think his reentry might not have been as successful as it was if he hadn't made friends here, made contacts here, and built networks here.
What education has done for me is allowed me to better become cognizant of the factors that led to my incarceration, but it also helped me to be able to analyze and rationalize the outside and inside stimuli. It helps me to rationalize and analyze problems I face, the stresses I face, and I can make better choices. Education, I believe, is the foundation of meaningful transformation.
86% of people who are released from prison will eventually return. Amongst the individuals who pursue higher education, however, recidivism rates drop to almost 10%. Some especially successful programs have even reported recidivism rates below 1%.
The purpose of imprisoning people is not for rehabilitation purposes. The purpose is to lock them up and throw away the key, is what is said. And that's exactly what happens if you have no out plan for the 85% of the prison population that will be returning to their communities one day. There should be reintegration services provided. There should be measurable goals. If you have no out plan, it's either 2 things. You don't expect to let them go, or you're setting them up to return.
There needs to be something that goes from inside to outside. They have inside programs, they have outside programs, but they don't have anything that connects that. And that connection is the key, because once you lose that connection, that little bit of time in between is that time where people recidivate, where they feel lost and they just go right back.
I personally was incarcerated for 8,395 days. That's 23 years. And like most prisoners, we do count our time in days, because sometimes you never know if you'll see tomorrow. So in New York State, the average cost to house an inmate for a year is approximately $60,000. So someone like myself who did 23 years, that's approximately $1.38 million. A $1,380,000 taxpayer bill. Why wouldn't I become educated? Why wouldn't I come home with the tools to be an asset to my community instead of a liability? How is it conceivable that someone can be put away for 23 years and the taxpayers foot the bill for $1.38 million and I come home ill-prepared? So I think the taxpayers have a vested interests in seeing that prisoners are educated, prisoners are given the tools to return to their communities as an asset as opposed to a liability.
I think some of the best people that I've met in this world, I met while I was incarcerated. And people have this misconception that, that nothing good can come of prison, right? But there's also a saying that says that change is inevitable. It's going to come, good or bad, but growth is optional. And people who choose to grow, and people who choose to progress, are oftentimes the one who return to the community and have the blessed opportunity of impacting the community and giving back to the community, regardless how the community feels about you. So you could treat me like shit all day, but I could smile and know that I'm a good person, and I can't blame you because you're still dealing with feelings and you're defining me based on the crime that took place so many years ago. But that crime doesn't define me.
We offer scholarships to students who have criminal justice involvement, who want to finish their college degrees. And so we are always trying to raise money to support this program. We buy the students books. A lot of them, they're able to take classes and they work full time, but something like the cost of books can be overwhelming. Sometimes we get them Metro cards. In one instance, we helped a student buy a pair of prescription eyeglasses because she was having trouble seeing and her eyeglasses broke. So yeah, we always need donations and assistance in that way.
Here's the thing, to all those people with money, okay, all these investors, everybody putting their money into different programs. Programs like this are I know people don't like to put their money, they think that, why would we reward people like that? Do you not want to lower crime? Do you not want to make it a safer place? The only way to do that is by helping these people get on the same path or have the same chance that you have. Put your money somewhere right, and that's definitely, that will make a difference. It's proven. Recidivism rates are so low compared if you go to school. People that are continuing their education, it's ridiculously low. Why have we not figured this out yet? Put your money somewhere smart.